The Cubs gave Paul Skenes the worst inning of his career, arguably one of the worst starts of his career as well. 3 home runs in 1 inning, Dansby, Tucker, and Seiya Suzuki. This was the first time in Paul Skenes' career he had given up 3 home runs in a game, let alone 1 inning. Now, one of the things I want to show you here is Paul Skenes' attack today was a little bit different than his past games against the Cubs. If we look here, this is the first 4 games that Paul Skenes threw against the Cubs in 2024. If you do the math here, a lot of four-seam fastballs, roughly 40 to 50% of the time he's throwing a four-seam fastball. But on this day, only 29% of his pitches were four-seam fastballs. Now, his fastball velo is down this year, not a ton, 1 mile per hour. But when you combine all these numbers, you've got 28 sliders and sweepers versus 25 four-seam fastballs. So maybe the fastball wasn't working for him in the bullpen. Maybe he just said, hey, I got to rely on my secondary stuff today. Or maybe he's just trying to switch it up and stay ahead of the competition since it is his 5th time facing the Cubs in the last year plus. Either way, it didn't work for him. In fact, it tied a career high in walks with 4, and he actually only struck out 2 Cubs on this day. That's the least amount that he's ever struck out any opponent in a start. The least before this was 3, but he still went 6 innings, 1 run, so he was still dominant on that day. Not so much today. The real story, though, was the home plate umpire, Lance Barrett. And this is important because this is a turning point for the Cubs. If the Cubs can do what I'm about to show you a little bit more often, maybe they can start to get umpires on their side. I mean, the first one is Seiya Suzuki. That's not a strike. It's not a strike. That's outside. But we're used to that with Seiya, right? For some reason, he gets a lot of pitches called for strikes. The bottom half of that inning, same pitch, essentially, from Colin Ray, called a ball. Fastball, a couple inches outside, called a ball. Could have been strike 3 if he used the same zone against Brian Reynolds as he did with Seiya Suzuki. Instead, Reynolds goes deep off of Colin Ray, comes back to bite the Cubs. In the 3rd inning, same situation, kind of, as Henry Davis takes strike 3, but it's called a ball. He ended up scoring on an O'Neill Cruz double, but I mean, as you watch this, yeah, Colin Ray missed his spot. Maybe Miguel Amaya didn't frame that all that well. Do you blame Amaya? Do you blame Lance Barrett? As the game continued to go on, I start to blame Lance Barrett because it just continued to go against the Cubs. Slider to Kyle Tucker inside, called a strike. Then in the same at-bat, Splinker outside, called a strike. That one's pretty egregious. Kyle Tucker actually ended up walking this at-bat. 6 balls in 1 at-bat that he watched go by, and only 4 were called balls. Then this one sets off the Cubs dugout. A sweeper way outside. Nicky Lopez, he's a nice guy. He's not going to say anything. You can see him, he's shaking his head. Okay, whatever. I'll get back to it. He does end up grounding out here. Nice play by the first baseman. But as soon as he completes this ground out, you see Dustin Kelly has been ejected from the game. And good for Dustin Kelly. Thank you for saying something. The Cubs need to do more of this. Craig Counsell, ever since he came over, he's a very passive manager. Whatever. That's fine. But you got to stick up for your guys every once in a while. Seiya Suzuki gets screwed over in almost every single game, it feels like. And he says nothing. In fact, you look at this. This is about the most animated that Craig Counsell is going to get. Oh, man. But if the Cubs coaches can do this more often this year and hold guys accountable, this result might happen more often. Take a look at this. A couple batters later in this inning, Seiya Suzuki is batting. I can almost guarantee you, pre-Dustin Kelly, that ball is called a strike. Instead, it's called a ball, completely changes the at-bat. It's 3-0 to Seiya now, and I don't know what this is, a sinker, a hard splinker or something. And all I know is it's only 92 miles an hour. It's right down the middle, and Seiya puts the Cubs up 3-2. You could have seen, if Dustin Kelly didn't go out there, you could have seen essentially Seiya go to a 2-1 count, and Paul Skenes chooses a different pitch, a different location, and the Cubs might not have gotten a lead. In fact, they might have relinquished a lead, and they may not have won this game. But Dustin Kelly, single-handedly, along with Seiya's swing, but he's the one that helped that at-bat go the way it did. Let me know what you think in the comments. I think this was monumental. I want to see more of it. What do you say? And just for good measure, because the Cubs, as we know, need insurance runs. They've lost 9 of their 13 losses with leads. They had leads in 9 of the 13 losses. That leads the MLB. Seiya puts another home run on the board. He's already got 9 home runs this year. We're just now in May. It's May 1st. Seiya's got 9 home runs. Campaign for a 30 home run season. Cubs win the series 2-1. It's the first series they have not stolen a base. Also, according to our setup man, Ty, great post here. He actually posted this before the tough loss the other day. Cubs are 4-0 in games following tough losses, and they had another one on April 30th. So make it 5-0.